Hi folks, you're going to miss all the best jokes if you don't come and sit down. I'm Homi Nagigi from C2. I think today I'm known as the warm-up act for Daniel Dines, who's going to be on next. So it's great to see everyone sitting down here and all the guys joining us. Let me just quickly tell you who we are. So C2 Consume is actually a partnership between ourselves, C2. We're a software organizations. We have a software platform which Gartner describes as the hyper-automation orchestration platform. So that's what we do. And we've joined forces with one of our partners called Unite, who are the experts at service management. They've been in the service management industry for over 20 years, providing all sorts of services around various technologies. And about a couple of years ago, we got together to try and solve probably one of the most important problems in our industry today. Everyone talks about innovation. You see it on the UiPath lanyards, you see it in all the various presentations today. But the challenge that we've come across in terms of trying to use technology and innovate to fix business problems is one of speed. Every single organization that we've talked to, especially in the last couple of years, in creating our service, was that there were 5 fundamental problems to trying to innovate and innovate at speed. And these are the 5 problems that we come across. Number 1, there is a skills shortage out there. And I know everyone we've spoken to today, they recognize that, especially in the automation and intelligent automation landscape. So that's a challenge that is facing everyone today. And that's one of the reasons that it's slowing innovation down, because you don't have the right skills or enough of the right skills to be able to help you implement and scale your automation. The second is cost. If you want to do anything from doing a small proof of concept or a pilot to implementing a solution to one on a scale, you always have to go and invest first. The way someone described it to me is, and we've got British Airways, I know we're on stage earlier today, it's like an aeroplane. I have to pay for the aeroplane and all the maintenance costs and everything up front, and it's only once I start getting bumps on seats that I start getting a return. So there is a high cost to doing anything within organizations. That tends to slow things down because you have to go and get your business case approved and get approvals from various parts of the organization. The third thing is time to value. And what we mean by that is almost every enterprise organization I've spoken to says if we want to do anything from a POC or a pilot to sort of committing to a technology and buying it, is we have to go through lots and lots of hoops to jump through. Especially if you're in a regulated or a financial services organization, you've got compliance, you've got security, you've got IT infrastructure, you've got things like the servers that you have to order, you have to get approvals, you have to go through certain approvals processes and so on. All of this takes time. There was one client that I spoke to recently, in fact today, I won't name them, but they said that if you want to do a pilot, so from today they say we love this technology, we want to do a pilot, they said it's a minimum 12 months before we get the pilot going. So given those types of timescales, you can see how difficult it is to try and be innovative at pace, especially when we are competing with digitally native competitors or you've got other sort of main projects that you're trying to get going in the marketplace. The fourth challenge that we came across is that clients' technology teams tend to work in silos, which is a bit of a shame because when you're trying to fix a business problem, what tends to happen, you might have an RPA or automation team that goes and sees the business unit, says, yep, we can fix your problem with our hammer. And then you've got the chatbot team and the NLP team that also go to the same business unit and says, yep, we can fix that problem, but using chatbots, we can do it differently. It's a shame that it's very difficult, especially the bigger the organizations, to try and bring those technology groups together. So silos of technologies and silos of CIOs tend to actually slow down innovation because everything is very much a point solution rather than looking at the bigger problem and trying to fix it. And the last, by no means least, is you can have the best technology in the world, but if it isn't resilient, it is not delivering, if it is falling over every 5 minutes, the business loses interest and they won't use it. So to us, those 5 elements and all the problems that we came across tend to fall into one of those buckets. We're the main drivers for actually slowing down innovation. So we came at it the other way. If we can fix all of these 5 things together, then we believe that we're giving every organization here a very good chance to be able to innovate and truly deliver value to the business. And we did that by doing something that sounds very simple, which is the combination of our platform and the service management from Unite. So what we did was we created the world's first and only truly pay-as-you-go, consumption-based, intelligent automation platform. Now, a bit of a mouthful. I'm sure we'll get our marketing to come up with a fancier name, which they have done. It's called C2 Consume, powered by Unite. And what that platform is the way I describe it is really in 3 dimensions. First dimension is that it is a pay-as-you-go platform, which means that you only pay for what you use in production. If you're using RPA, then you only pay per minute while your robot's running. If you're using document understanding, you just pay per page. There is no commitment. There's no minimum level entry. There's no setup cost, nothing. It really is pay as you go. Bit like electricity. You turn it on, you use it, you pay for it. You turn it off, you're not using it. And that's the way it should be. And that alone helps with the cost side of things. And also, the second dimension is the technologies that we have on the platform. The technologies that we have are growing day by day. So we have all the main intelligent automation technologies you would expect. So all the UiPath technologies, not just RPA, document understanding, re-infer, all of those technologies are on there, but we also have technologies from other vendors like Druid AI. So if you're into chatbots, NLP, you want to use ChatGPT, all of that is included, and there's more machine learning and other platforms coming on board shortly. So by having a single platform that provides the best of breed of technologies, not just RPA, but other intelligent automation technologies, it means we actually fix some more of these things. Time to value. Once you're on board C2 Consume as a supplier, and we go through all the security checks, the ISO compliance, the GDPR compliance, SOC compliance, and so on, and we are approved as a vendor, it means you, as the technology brainchilds within your organizations, can use any of those platforms. So you don't have to go through onboarding. It makes it a lot quicker. You don't have to go through security again or through compliance and all of that. But also it means you don't have to go through trying to order servers and things like that. Everything is there, and you can try a technology. If a technology doesn't work for you because it's all consumption-based, there's no infrastructure cost and no setup cost, that's great. Don't use it. Go use something else on our platform. So doing POCs, doing pilots becomes a lot quicker and a lot cheaper. By also having multiple technologies means that we start to encourage people to break those silos of technologies, because even though you may have separate COEs, you tend to almost be forced to work together because the technologies sit on the same platform. Any COE can access any other technology. So you can start focusing on the business problems and fixing the business challenges rather than focusing on the technology itself. And the third element is so what have I talked about? I've talked about technologies and the pay-as-you-go. The third element is the service element. So the service element is a full stack service management. What does that mean? That means everything that you can think of is included in the price. The infrastructure costs, so your virtual machines, the infrastructure for UiPath or any other technologies in there is included. The license costs for UiPath and other technologies are included. The cost for the C2 platform, which fully automates the operations and changes everything into an SLA base, is all included. The cost of ServiceNow, because it's a fully service managed platform, is included. And what that means is when you onboard a process into the C2 Consume platform, you tell us the SLAs for those processes. You also tell us the operational level agreements for those processes. And what that means is if you have a process that touches SAP, Excel, and maybe Salesforce, you then tell us who the service owners are in your organization or externally that are responsible for that service. So if the robot is not running because an application is not available, then we will follow up with the service owners and ensure that the services are back up line and all logged within the ServiceNow. So you have full visibility of everything that's happening, and we carry out and do all the hard work for you. So that means that this skill shortage, you don't have to worry about any of the service management, any of the operational side of things, and your people can truly focus on delivering value to your business and your organization. And the C2 platform, one of the things that it specializes in is stabilizing an environment. And because everything is done by software and it's automated, with automated operations, it means that it's a fully resilient technology. And I'm not talking about resilient in terms of backup. I'm talking about when there are problems within your infrastructure or within your processes, it automatically detects, recovers from those, and reruns those processes. So from a business perspective, the SLAs are met and the output is delivered on time, despite the fact might be chaos going on underneath. So we deliver all of those from this single C2 Consume platform. And we announced that back in February this year, and we already have over 40 clients on the platform. Unfortunately, Ford was supposed to be on stage with me to explain how wonderful it is and what a great platform it is. But having that platform, one of the things that Ford are now able to do is to start really thinking big about their business problems that they're trying to solve, rather than think of them as little silos, point solutions. So they're thinking big, they're able to pilot technologies so they can start small, and they're able to scale because the platform itself is not about licenses, it's about consumption. So you can throw as much workload at it and it will scale almost infinitely. So this has become quite a famous saying now with our clients, which is, and I know it's something that's been used in the past with BPM and other projects, but it's starting to come into fashion again with the C2 Consume platform, which is you can now, for the first time, start thinking big, start small very quickly and scale fast your operations when something's worked. Let me give you a couple of examples of that. I said Ford will be here on stage with us. Unfortunately, they couldn't. But they've got lots and lots of processes now running on the C2 Consume platform. And I just wanted to pick one, because we're very short on time, to give you a flavor of it. Ford, in this instance, they're part of Ford Europe. They've got about 5 factories. This division's got 5 factories, and they build over 70% of vans that are delivered and sold across Europe throughout these 5 factories. So it's pretty big operations for them and pretty critical operations for them. What their head of the COE for intelligent automation did was, for one of their processes, was to look at how they read blueprints of vehicles. They then had to quality assure those blueprints. So to give you an example, if they were selling cars in the UK versus Germany versus Sweden, there are regulations for those cars or vans that are different. So they have to make sure that the blueprint of the car that's going to be built and delivered has to match not just the specification of what was ordered, but that it complies with the regulations of that country, which can be different to others. So they are constantly checking these blueprints on a regular basis. It's pretty critical. And the other thing that they had to do is, once they check these, that they do conform, then send it to the assembly line. So the things that were critical to them in this process, apart from using multiple technologies, was that, number one, they're obviously governed by Ford, the big US manufacturer, and using any SaaS technology, security compliance was number one. Nothing passes any of their gates unless it meets the stringent, the tightest level of security. The second thing for them, as you can imagine, is if any of these blueprints are either wrong or delayed because the system's gone down or not available or slowed down, it will cause absolute chaos within the factories. So ensuring continuous high availability was very important to them. The other things that became important was that when they pilot a project with multiple technologies, if it works for them, they want to be able to scale that across the 5 operations quickly. So scaling up at speed was very important to them. They don't want to go through, great, we've got it working in this factory, now let's go and set up the, the infrastructure for factory number 2, let's go and order the licenses, let's go order the servers, let's get approval from the local, division, etc. They don't want any of that. They want to be able to almost turn it on instantly. Other minor things was to avoid the silos of technologies I mentioned, because they tend to use multiple technologies for each of their solutions. And also ease of onboarding was quite important to them. And that is exactly what we achieved with the C2 platform, is we were able to tick every single one of those boxes. And as the quote says there, that for the first time, it wasn't the fact that they were able to do things quickly and more efficiently, it was the fact that they were able to automate processes that have been done manually that they could not automate before themselves. Part of it being because of this resilience factor that our platform brings. The other, because I've got 30 seconds left, just to talk and give you another example, spin on the benefits, was a company called Medical Park. They're the biggest health hospital group within the Middle East. They've got something like 27 hospitals, but you can see the stats there. One of their biggest challenges is that when they have private patients come into their hospitals, they have to invoice the insurance companies within a 3-day period in the month. So they only have a 3-day window to invoice all of their private insurance companies, and the volumes of invoices can vary anything between 150,000 a month to 600,000 a month, and they have no seasonal predictability on that whatsoever. They've been doing it manually themselves, which was causing them absolute chaos with resources. But having moved to the C2 Consume platform, apart from the usual benefits of what RPA and IDP and all those technologies bring, was the fact that they didn't have any volume commitment, and they could throw work at the platform anytime they wanted, and based on the SLA, the platform delivered. But the most important thing that they said to us, which is something that never occurred to me before, they said, when we've had infrastructure and technologies in place, we had to buy and get a business case approved by the business to buy so many licenses, so much infrastructure, so much capacity for the business cases that we were going to automate. And what would happen is if there was ever any delays in automating, we became under pressure because we've now got this infrastructure and this cost sitting there not delivering much benefit, and management were on our case. So we unfortunately turned it around the other way and tried to find automations wherever we could to try and fill up this capacity so we could at least demonstrate we were getting value. When in reality, they were automating the wrong things. Instead of looking at the business problems and really automating what would add value, they were actually automating anything and everything just to fill the thing up. And that's one of the other things that they said, by going to the C2 Consume platform, they were able to move away from that and truly focus on adding value, because they only used an automated technology where it made sense. So anyway, I've run through that very quickly. I think I'm a little bit over time. We do have a stand over here. Do please come and see us. I know we're the last sort of call before Daniel Dines on stage, but we'd love to see you there. Any of my colleagues, there's about 8, 9 of us here. We'd be happy to answer any questions. And as our Mark Twain says, the secret of making progress is to actually get started. So do come and see us. We'd love to get started with you. Thank you very much for your time.